Hello, everyone. Welcome. If you can hear me and see me clearly, could you please let me know on the chat or just sending a thumbs up in the React tab? Awesome. Thank you so much. So, hi, everyone, again. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Carla Plasencia, and on behalf of the student world, I welcome you to this amazing live session that we have today with the Academy of Art University. This is going to be awesome, guys. You will love it. I won't take much of your time. I just want to share with you how this platform works. So, on the right side of your screen, you will see the chat. Here, you can let us know where are you watching us from, your names, anything that you want to say. Please send it here. Then on the second tab, we have the questions. So please, throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, type them here because we will keep track of them and we will have a Q&A session at the end. We will also be launching some polls that you will have the chance to answer just clicking in the right question and submit your vote. This is just for us to understand better what are you looking for and to drive the presentation in that way. Okay, I see now some of you writing on the chat. This is awesome, Italy, Kosova. That is so great. Thank you guys again for being here with us today. And now I'm going to introduce you to our presenters. So we have Sue and we have Catherine. They are both joining us from the Academy of Art University, and they are going to share with us all the amazing opportunities that they have for international students. Thank you so much, Sue and Catherine, for being here with us today. And the stage is all yours.
Thank you, Carla. Hi, everybody. It's great to see you. The Netherlands, Moldova, Italy. Wow. We're so happy that you decided to check us out. I know that there are art schools, art colleges all over the world. And the fact that you're interested in us is really wonderful. So we're going to try to tell you a little bit about the Academy, and we're also going to try to give you some good reasons why you might want to choose us. I have my associate Catherine Tate here, and she is the executive director of the animation department. So if any of you are interested in animation, we'll be able to focus on that a little later. And also my colleague Tricia is answering questions offline. So we'll try to get to all your questions. Please ask. There's no silly questions. So we're going to start the presentation now. We were at the Academy of Art. We were founded in 1929, and I think one of the things that's really interesting about the school is that we're family owned. The person who started the school is actually a fine art painter, and his granddaughter is the president of the school. And Carla, I'm having trouble getting the slide to move. So, there we go. Okay. It's really true. There is a Golden Gate Bridge. That's a picture of it. And we do have fog in San Francisco. This is a shot of the bridge and then the city behind it. It's a beautiful, beautiful place to go to art school. Carla, I think, yeah. So, and we do have hills and we have cable cars just like this. So this is another view of the city. Like I said, it's a beautiful place. It's a wonderful place to study art and design, especially the visual arts. The city embraces art and design. We are centrally located in what's called the financial district, but more important than that, we are surrounded by studios, offices of people doing art and design, game development, you name it. They're all around us. So what does that mean for you? It means you're right in the center of every place you'd want to go to work. And we have a lot of our faculty come from these businesses. And why do they come? They come because they want to see who the fresh talent is. We also have accreditation. Now, what is accreditation? That's important for you to know. Accreditation is something in the United States that we do to show that an institution is a good school. We have regional accreditation. That's really, really important. We have national accreditation, the National Schools of Art and Design, really important. If we don't have regional accreditation and national accreditation, you might question what's happening there. We also, for our interior designers, we have CETA, which is their national accreditation. We have NAB accreditation for architecture. And if you're interested in teaching, we have the ability to offer you teaching credentialing as well for the state. We have a lot of majors. And I bring this up because, you know, you may be looking online and you may see schools that seem interesting and have a great website, but do they have 22 different schools of art and design? We have such a big variety of schools and options for you to choose from, but also we can tailor make curriculum. So for example, if I'm in architecture, but I'd like to take some interior work, I can do that. If I'm in animation, like my friend Catherine oversees, and I want to do something in game, I can do that. So we can tailor make curriculum for you so your portfolio reflects exactly what you're interested in and what you want to work in. We also have STEM. And what is STEM? That means it stands for science, technology, engineering, and math. But because we use the computer in so many of our different areas, we can offer 15 STEM programs. And that means after you graduate and you're ready to start working, you can work in the United States for 3 years. Now, we'll start with some of our more popular majors, and one of them is architecture. How do you know if you're interested in architecture? Well, architecture is if you want to design buildings, if you want to plan communities, that's the major for you. We have a Bachelor of Architecture and a Master of Architecture. Fashion design, probably most of you know what that's about. It's about clothing, accessories. It's about footwear. You can do it for clients exclusively, or you can do it for a company. You have to be able to draw, you have to be able to visualize, and you have to be able to understand textiles. Jewelry. Jewelry and metal arts. It's sometimes a part of a fashion design, but at the Academy of Art, it's standalone. And what that means is you can only work in metals and jewelry, and you can basically find your own voice. I think that's such an important piece of this. You're creating the things that you find really attractive. And this is whether you're working for a company online like Blue Nile, or maybe it's more... maybe you want to do Neiman Marcus, for example, a very high-end exclusive store. Photography, a lot of people do photography. We all have cameras that on our phones, but this takes it to the next level. And this is taking images that are not only well shot, they're clear, they're focused, but they also are beautiful. We want you to take photos that people remember and treasure. And that's what happens when you do photography. And advertising, that's another very popular major. And the most important piece of this is that it's fast moving. It's different than some other areas where you may be creating things that last forever. It's fast moving, it's always changing. In this case, this was from an international student, actually, who wanted to talk about the pollution that's going on in the ocean. Game design, you're creating the games that you want to play. And this is, you have to, it's not just playing the games, so I have to emphasize that. But you want to work for companies like Nintendo, Blizzard. You build worlds, you create characters, and you're using the most cutting edge technology. We also have e-teams that compete with other schools. Catherine, I'm going to let you step in here and talk about this part of it.
Oh, okay. Well, visual development is the part of the pipeline where you actually design characters and environments before they go into production, so that when you go into production, all of the concept work is finished, and it basically makes the whole pipeline run more smoothly if you start with the design part. And so in a film or animation environment, you would always have visual development starting out. So if you're, for example, every Pixar movie has a visual development stage where they actually design the characters and make sure that they're going to work well throughout the pipeline.
And you want to talk more about it, the environments as well?
Yes. Environment creations, every feature film, every project generally has some sort of environments that sort of set the tone for the feeling of the project. And that's another part of visual development, where you create worlds. And you can actually do visual development also for games, obviously, so that you can, create those worlds. And, you have to design it first, and then you actually put it into production.
And then on the next slide, I think we're going to see more what's the difference between 3D and 2D.
Okay, so we have a large animation and visual effects program. We have about 1,000 students right now, and there's a lot of different areas in animation and visual effects. So first of all, if we talk about animation, and if you like 3D animation, then maybe you will want to work at Pixar, which is by the way, it's right across the bridge from where the academy is. And we have a Pixar program that where the instructors actually come and teach animation at our school. 2D animation is more, we call it traditional animation. So if you're thinking of things like traditional Disney projects such as Snow White or Bambi or those, and then you can actually go now, they're being used a lot for episodic television, using the 2D flat art, but a lot of that is done in the computer too now. So, and we have a great program, and it also includes stop motion animation, kind of like Coraline or the Aardman stuff, where you use puppets and you actually animate them frame by frame and take pictures. And then I'm sure you've seen that kind of work. Visual effects, which is my background. I worked at Lucasfilm for 11 years, and at Framestore in London, I actually was in London, working there for about a year and a half. Visual effects is more like if you want to work on a movie that like Marvel movie. So you think animation, Pixar, Disney, visual effects, Marvel, that kind of stuff, live action that has creatures and dynamics such as water and then, putting it all together into one environment. Visual effects usually involves live action. Animation often is completely three created in the computer. So that's the difference between animation and visual effects. And we have many different areas within visual effects and animation. So in animation, you might want to do animating, but you also might, if you're more technically oriented, you might want to build a skeleton, that actually moves, that the animators use. In visual effects, there's a lot of crossover. So you usually want to light and put textures on the animation and render it, and then put it in a composite. That's where we go into the visual effects a little bit more.
So you can tell, I just want to make sure everybody's aware, Catherine is an expert at this, and she can really take you from wherever you are in your current time, whether you just like animation or you've done some of it, to the next level. So we'll go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we'll go on. And then if any of you want to see the animation, we have a short clip of that as well. After we've done the presentation, then we'll be happy to show you that too.
Okay, great.
So one of the things that is I'm having a little trouble. There we go. Industrial design. We have industrial design. If you're interested in creating futuristic modes of transportation, the newest shoe that no one's seen before that's going to make you able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Or maybe you're going to put some beautiful kind of, like this woman's arm that's going to control all the computers in your house. I don't know. Industrial design is always trying to make the world a little better and a little more interesting for individuals. Also, car design. If some of you would like to put together the newest electric car, for example, and it's going to look sexy and cool, this is a place you want to do it. Tomatano, who designed the two-seater Miata. Some of you may be aware of that car. He was the original designer of that. He is the director of the department. And again, he has a lot of contacts in that world. Whoops, I think we skipped here. Graphic design, that's kind of an interesting thing. Whether you're doing a logo or a label, you're trying to create something in a very small amount of space that's going to represent a product and make the consumer want to buy that product. You're responsible for branding. It's a very, very detailed type work. So where advertising is kind of fast and crazy, graphic designers are very focused and they pay attention to the details. And that's, for example, on these labels. They decided to sell this jam. When you're in the grocery store, you need to see some beautiful fruit. And that's what they did. Next slide. Illustration, we have fabulous illustration department. Illustrators are solving problems for clients. So whether you're doing children's books or book covers or even comic books, next slide, please. You are solving a problem for your client and you'd have to draw. So whether it is about sketching or it's about drawing with the computer, you have to know how to draw, and then you can edit, you can make it more stylized. These are very stylized images, but it's all important for you to know how to do so that you can convey the message your client wants you to convey. And fine art painting, we all know about fine art painting. It's in all the galleries. Fine artists display in galleries, they work for themselves, and they often have a following of people who love that particular style of work. And these are student images and they are paintings, they aren't photographs. Sculpture, we have fine art sculpture, and these are kind of interesting, not the typical Michelangelo David pieces, but just to show a variety of different images that you can do with sculpture. And we work with all kinds of organizations in San Francisco, one of which is the zoo. We did a lot of fountains for them. Interior architecture and design, you're doing an interior, and it's going to create an environment that people want to be in. You're in the process of changing the way people see their space. And if you go to the next slide, I want to show an example of this. This was probably at one point a dark stairway that people used to get up to the next floor. Somebody, an interior architecture and designer, saw it and said, I want to make that a truly beautiful space. And they did. And so there you have this image. I think that's beautiful. So we have all of these different majors, and we try to showcase the best student work. We call it our spring show. It's usually under one roof, and employers come from all over the city to see the work. But we're also having great success with our online gallery as well. So what that means for you is employers look at your work and decide who they want to hire, and many times they hire right on the spot. And Catherine, I know Pixar comes every year and they want to see the work, and they're always, I think 10% of Pixar is from the Academy. Isn't that correct?
I don't know those numbers, but I do know that we do have several classes that are taught by people who currently work at Pixar. And, we get, and they often hook students up with internships and other opportunities if they feel like the student work is up to the level that they're looking for. But the fact that they're actually teaching animation classes, and that Pixar is so close to us, we do have a relationship with them, and we do have people getting hired based on performing in the classroom. So we have several people at Pixar. I don't know what the percentages are, but I do know that we have sort of a program that makes sure that our animation students are able to get trained by folks from Pixar. And then we also have other animation classes where other animators work at other studios. So it's actually a pretty special situation to be able to have access to all these massive companies that are doing this type of premiere work.
So can we go to the next slide, please? So everybody wants to know about rankings, and it's a little different in art and design. We don't have, we don't count the number of books in our library, and we don't look at how many of our faculty have PhDs, but we do compete in different contests and competitions around the world. As you can see, we've been ranked highly, and that's the most important thing. When you are in art and design, it's about the work that you're able to create and produce, not about how many books are in the library. So that's why I wanted to make sure you saw some of these world-class rankings. Next slide. And these are some of the companies that our students are collaborating with. They are, and we have partnerships with. We do special projects every year. And it really is, these companies want to collaborate with us. They want to have our students' input in their current designs. So that's a wonderful networking opportunity. Next slide. And as far as careers go, again, these are companies that hire our students. Everything, Gensler is a highly respected studio in San Francisco. There's Tesla, there's Four Seasons hotels, there's car companies, you name it. We have many times more job offerings than we have students graduating. Next slide. And why? Well, we have award-winning faculty. You can see Catherine's image on there. And all of these people, all of our directors have been successful in the field that they're overseeing. They know what it takes, and they are there because they want to pass that information on to the future. So you're actually, every class is kind of a job, not a job description, but a job interview. If you impress the instructor, if you impress the director with your work ethic, you get your work in on time, you do your very best. That's somebody who's going to remember you in the future. Next slide. So I know for some of you, English is not your first language, and we do have support if you need it, but you don't have to wait to start your classes. We have a setup so that you can actually start in art and design before you become totally bilingual. Next slide. And we have clubs. That's always important. When you come to the United States, you may not know a lot of people, and so we want to connect you with other students from the Academy of Art who share the same passions that you have. The next slide. And we do have housing. And I really recommend this. If you're thinking about coming, even if you don't want to live in housing that we provide the whole time you're there, it's a great way to start out because you're going to walk into a situation where all you have to do is bring your clothes, basically. We've got everything from your desk, your bed, your lights, everything already there for you. And you're going to be sharing a space with other students from the academy. Most of our housing has shuttle buses that come. You can see one down there in the picture, so that you can actually get a ride from the dorm that you're living in to the classroom that you're going to. All you have to do is get on the bus, get off the bus. It's that simple. So we try to make it as easy as possible, especially for our new students. We have all kinds of housing plans. You can share rooms, or you can have your a private room. We have kitchens. We have meal plans. We've thought about everything. We want to make it as easy as possible. Next slide. So we are here for you. This is some of our most recent graduates, and you know, we are challenging you to show us the extraordinary work that you can produce. We can't wait to see what you're going to do. So if we go to the next slide, I believe this is. I'm sorry, I can't see, Carla, what we're looking at, but I think this is the video. Is that correct? If you would, we'll do a short video for you, so you kind of get a sense of what we're all about. So that's kind of what we do, and you know, I think that maybe some of you, how many of you, did we do a poll to see how many people are interested in animation? Do we have a sense of that? If we know that we've got students who would like to see the animation, that would be great. We could show that as well. So anyway, I'll go on to the next slide, and then we'll do this poll. How much does it cost? Everything has a cost, but the issue more here is about the value for this recipe of success. We know that you can choose many, like I said before, many different schools. But what we think we offer you is not only an opportunity to go to school in San Francisco to work with world-class faculty, but we guarantee you a competitive portfolio when you finish our program. And we're going to make sure you get the job that you want to have when you graduate. So having said all that, that's our cost. And we hope that you will find that that's something you want to do. I always say if you have to work when you get out of college, we're the place you should go if you want to work in art and design. Let's look. I haven't seen the results, but let's go ahead and show the animation and visual effects reel now. So, Catherine, you could go to the next slide. Let's just go to the next slide right now, if we could. You want to talk a little bit about, I know that's all student work. Is there anything you'd like to add to what we just saw?
Yeah, well, there are a couple things I want to mention with the things that make our program unique to other programs is we have a premier studio program called Studio X, and we've been running it for almost 15 years. And what it is after you've done some curriculum training, we put you right into the studio, and you're working with professional filmmakers. And also we work on internal projects, and basically that's a collaborative environment like you would find in a studio. And we train you in the same way that they work. So not only are you working with other students and creating beautiful work for, it might be animated film or it might be a visual effects film, but you're also getting better produced work for your portfolio. And it's been extremely successful in landing people jobs. So that's really exciting. We also have, from the pandemic, we pivoted to a remote lab. We call it our lab. So you could log in and work with us anywhere in the world, just about. If you want to be in New York and you want to work and you want to go to the academy, you could log in and have access to all our resources. And that's something that's pretty amazing. That also mirrors the industry and how they're working now. So again, I mentioned the Pixar instructors. All of our instructors are professionals. Either they've worked in the industry, or generally like 90% of them are actually still working in the industry and teaching you what they know from places like Pixar, Disney, Industrial Light and Magic, and many, many, many other companies. So we really are in the heart of the industry, and we work a lot with the folks that are basically changing how you look at media. The Studio X program also allows you to get an IMDb credit and a screen credit Most of the films we work on they end up streaming or doing the festival circuit, and you get already credits on movies and credits in IMDb before you get out of school. So we're very, very proud of our studio program, because we also believe it'll help you go into the studio and be productive immediately. So that's really, really special to our school, the fact that we work on professional films. And we've worked with directors such as Ryan Coogler, who directed Black Panther. He was in here working with our students. We worked on a film called Beasts of Southern Wild, which was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. So we get access to really, really amazing projects for you to work on. And we're really proud of that.
So I think what Catherine is talking about is true for all the majors that we've covered today and all the ones that we offer, is that we are all about you, like I said before, you getting that job that you want. A lot of our schools will say, come to us and have a good time, basically, but then you leave, you don't have that competitive portfolio or that competitive reel that Catherine is so proud of, and that we're so proud of in general, of the students at our school, because they know what to do when they get out of school. They can hit the ground running, if you know that expression. That means they're 100% ready to go. All someone has to do is hire them, and they can walk into the studio, and they know how to use the tools. They know what the expectations are, and they've been doing high-level work. So, having said all that, I guess we're now available for questions.
Hey, Sue, can I mention also that we have a career services department?
Absolutely.
Our goal is to get our students work. Their success is our success. So we have a great career services department when you graduate, who are always there to help you get connected with people in the industry and get you placed. So again, our final goal is to get students jobs in the industry that, in their dream job. So that's our goal, and we're doing that. And we have really good placement in my department that I'm aware. I mean, and we have connections with industry professionals and studios. And then we have the career services department that can continue to help you develop your portfolio and resume and demo reel.
And that's a good point, Catherine. And for our alums, they can use this department for the rest of their lives if they want to. And it's always great because they connect with other students in different companies who are established at that point in time, and it makes it easy for them to change jobs if they so choose.
And we also have job events that allow you to meet with people from Disney to Pixar to ILM to Lucas. We have 2 major events a year where we have students connecting with these industry professionals.
Great. So, and now I think, Carla, how do we do the Q&A here?
Awesome. Okay. So I will help you with that. I will leave this slide like this so students can still see the info. Okay, so we have some questions over here. The first one that I see is, if I have academic background in another area that is outside of the arts, am I eligible to study art or to change the career here?
Absolutely. We don't have a problem with your background. Even if you say you went into an area, maybe because your parents thought it was a good idea, but your heart's always been in art and design, we'll look at what you've taken. We'll try to transfer in whatever might be applicable. We do have a portion of our degree that's general education, so we can transfer in those liberal arts classes you may have taken. And then we'll get you started in the area that you're interested in. And we'll try to make it as seamless as possible.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sue. About the animation portfolio, how is the application in the animation field, Catherine?
I'm sorry,
Application.
How does one apply for jobs, or is that?
No, for their portfolio. for their portfolio to come into the school, Catherine?
How do you make one, or how do you?
What are you looking for?
Oh,
exactly.
Well, we are a very inclusive school, so we, we accept. We do ask you to give us your work to date, mainly so that we can help place you and waive classes if we need to. So it shouldn't get you too stressed out. We just want to make sure that right when you get into the academy that you're in the right classes. And so I would say just put whatever work you've done, the best work that you've done, and then it's always evaluated so we can know where to place you. That's basically it. The grad program is similar, and we are very used to working with different levels of students in the same classroom. It's one of the things we do probably better than most other places, that we can actually, our instructors are trained to deal with how to make sure every student is challenged and moving forward in the program. I don't know if that answered your question, but
I think they're just wanting to know what they should submit if
Yeah.
they are interested in coming into the program.
I would say submit everything you have, including drawings. Even two-dimensional work is like single, just single imagery, so we can get an idea of what what your drawing skills are like, or what your if you have animation, put it on there. Put it all on there. Just if you have sculpture work, put it on there. It just helps us evaluate so I would say do some, if you were applying to the animation and visual effects department, that you would have a moving demo reel. So it would need to be like a movie file or something like that, or a MP4, that you cut your work together, and maybe do some moving camera, or just have your drawings like at the end of it, just so we can see what your drawing chops are like. Does that help? If I'd love to put my email in then, and I can actually
Sure.
send examples. If somebody wants to email me and get examples of what an application might look like, we can actually take care of showing you.
And I want to just say, in general, we don't have every director here from all of our programs, but whatever you're interested in, once we connect you with the admissions team, they will make sure the right director gets the information that you have. So you don't have to worry about, I saw someone earlier said they were interested in acting. We will make sure that the director of that program gets your information. And if you have a reel or something that you've done, we'll make sure they get that too. So the next step, you can see the how to apply. We have people that are available to help you navigate all this. So don't worry about getting in touch with the right person.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sue and Catherine. I see here some questions about the English proficiency tests.
Right.
Which are the ones that you accept? How does that work?
So we accept several. We accept the TOEFL, we accept the ELTS, and we also accept the Duolingo. But having said that, if you are, as I said, English is not your first language and you haven't taken one of those tests, we will test you prior to you studying your classes, and we will see where you fall and what kind of support you need. We actually have some language classes that you can take. We call it English for Art Purposes, to kind of get you used to the language you'll hear in the classroom and the culture of our classrooms. And you can take that and start your art classes at the same time. So you don't have to wait to finish your English before you can take these art classes. But the other thing that's really important is we will provide you with art support or language support throughout the time you're taking classes. So it may be in the beginning, it's all good. And then all of a sudden you hit a class and you're like, they're using language you aren't familiar with and you're having trouble keeping up. You can request art language support, and someone will come in and sit in the classes and make sure you understand what they're saying, and also help you understand what the assignments are.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Sue, for the info. I have here another question about the application process. Where can they begin?
Well, we put the how to apply right up there on the screen. You can call that number. If you leave your information here in this webinar, we will call you. Don't worry, you can email us as well, and we have a whole international team who will work with you, help you figure out what the visa situation is, help you figure out what you need to do to get your I-20, all those kinds of things. So that's the first step right there, how to apply. And if you, again, leave your contact information, someone will be in touch with you probably today or tomorrow.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Here, someone is asking if you have any online programs.
We have a whole range of online programs. I don't know if Catherine wasn't here then, but 20 years ago, the president said, I think online, we have to, because not everyone can move to San Francisco. So we started exploring what's out there, and we couldn't find anything that we felt good about. I mean, we are art and design, and it needs to be high level. So we decided we would create our own, and we have spent the last 20 plus years making what I consider to be one of the top online programs probably in the world. In fact, I've had other schools from other countries want to know if they can buy our product. We aren't doing it. We aren't selling it. You only get it at the academy. The classes were written by professional instructors that said this is what's essential for this particular class. If they're accredited the same as our on-site classes. I think that one of the great parts of this is that I can be sitting at home having a cup of coffee, watching a demo. I have the best seat in the house, and I can play it over and over and over as many times as I want. Plus, I will have real-time contact with my instructor. And if I, for example, want to talk to Catherine, I can set up an appointment with her, and we can have a Zoom call just like this at any time. And we make it work. And I have to tell one more story about our online. Several years ago, there was a guy from Pakistan who was in fashion design, and he did fabulous work. And so because he did amazing work, he was asked to present at the New York fashion show that happens in the fall. We said, of course, he said, yes, I'd be thrilled, but he couldn't get a visa to come in person. So he watched it online, saw his work, and he's been hired by a company in Europe. So, I mean, it's always amazing. The online students are not in any way handicapped because they're online. And we know people have jobs, people have other responsibilities, can't all just pick up and move. So we have a great online program for you.
Catherine, I think you're muted.
In our department, thank you. In our department, we really take pride in the different modes of learning that we offer. We have on-site classes, we have virtual classes, we have online classes, and we have, as I mentioned before, access to our virtual lab, which is like being in the lab. You can have a cheap laptop and just like log in, and then you have access to all the premier professional software and the highest quality machines to work on. So we really take pride in the fact that, and right now that we have students in India, we have students in China, we have students in the South America logging in and participating in our program and succeeding. And that is really, really exciting to us because we know life is complicated and you can't always just be able to, I mean, you might decide, oh, I want to be in San Francisco for my last year or my first year, or I might want to travel to New York and do a year there and then log into the classes in San Francisco. So we really understand how globalized education should be at this point. And I think that we offer the most flexibility in learning than anyone else. So it's very exciting to move forward. And the pandemic kind of pushed us a little more quickly towards the idea that you can learn from anywhere and have different ways that you can learn at the academy to be able to deal with, your complicated life. And so
Yeah.
that's something we take pride in.
That is so amazing. So the students can choose like to do like a hybrid, like 1 year San Francisco and then the next year I go back home or the other way around.
Right.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and we see that, students take advantage of that because international students can't always work in the United States. They're supposed to be there to study. That's what the F1 visa is all about. And like I said, they do have 3 years after graduation that they can work full time. But for some students, they decide, I'm going to start at home and then I'm going to come later, as Catherine was saying. Some students choose to come for their last year because if they complete 1 year on site, then they're eligible for the OPT STEM being able to work. So
In the US,
there's a lot, in the US. So that's really helpful. And right now, and I don't know how long it's going to be this way, but right now, international students can be in the country and they don't have to be on or near campus. They can be in any city they choose as long as they're full-time, taking full-time classes.
Okay, that is also very cool. Very, very cool. There's a lot of flexibility, opportunities, and ways to do it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Awesome. Okay, so I have another a student here asking, can I join the online program if I am still in high school?
No, but having said that, you have to graduate from high school, but we do have a special art experience program that you can sign up for and take online right now. In fact, we're going to start, I think the art experience is going to start in a few weeks, probably 3 weeks in October. And you can take classes that you don't get a grade, you just get like a pass fail. But you can start trying things out. You can see how you like animation. You can see how you like illustration. You can see how you like painting, whatever it is. You'll have that same professional instruction that I've been talking about. And you don't have to, guess what? It's free. That's the good news. It's free. You don't even have to pay a registration fee. It's that easy. All you have to do is pay for your materials. So
some classes, there's no material cost. So yeah.
I'm going to do that too.
So you will be with other students who are, many of them are still in high school that want to try this out. And again, it's to give you a sense of how it works and how you're going to learn and who our instructors are. We've handpicked the instructors that teach in this program, the Special Art Experience program. They're the people who are most used to working with younger students who have less experience. So they'll be very open and warm and encouraging.
And, often in high school, you don't know exactly what you want to do, and you can take classes in different departments and just kind of explore and see what, grabs your passion. Because really,
and you get $1,000 if you decide to continue on. For every class you pass with a P, you get $1,000 towards a class that you might take when you come as a full-time student.
Up to, I believe, 3. Yeah, it's very exciting. So you get a scholarship if you do these classes. It's pretty cool. And there's really no catch. It's free and you can just explore. It's great.
Yeah, and what do you have to lose? I mean,
exactly.
Why not? It's sort of like going into a store and trying on a pair of shoes. You want to try them on before you buy them, right? And that's how students feel as well.
This is amazing. This is a great opportunity. I see that Trisha already shared with us a link in the chat. So guys, please save that link for later because this is an amazing opportunity. That is so, so cool. Awesome. Okay. So The one of the last questions that I have here is how is the perfect candidate?
Well, I'll say, and then Catherine can say from her standpoint, but I always say there's three things that make you successful. One is passion. You have to have passion for the work that you're going to be doing, because you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. And if you hate it, it's not going to be fun for you. And you're probably even shouldn't be in that field. So you have to have passion. You have to have commitment. There's going to be days that you're not going to feel like getting up, or you're not going to feel like doing the work, or you've had, a problem in your personal life and you just don't feel like you have the creative juices to do it. You have to keep going. Even when you don't feel like it, you have to give it 100%. The third thing I think is important is focus. Some students come and they take a little bit of this, they take a little bit of that, they can't quite figure it out. We give you some time to figure out what your areas should be, but then you need to go focused and strong into that area, giving it everything you've got so you have that competitive portfolio when you get out. That's what I'd say. Catherine?
I actually completely back you up on that, but what I would say in most areas of art and design, there's a lot of collaboration involved, and a lot of, so we always say, be nice. Because you're going to be working with some of the folks that you're going to be in the school that you might actually be working with in the industry. And like we always say, your career starts now. Like so you have to be serious and have commitment. And I would say the passion is really important to me. And I always, when I speak to students, that's one of the first things I ask them is, what makes you excited? Because it's kind of like if you're learning the guitar and you're like, learning the chords, and I'm just saying that because I am learning the guitar right now. In the beginning, it's not so fun when your fingers are hurting and you're learning the chords, and then it's like you have to be able to get through that learning period and still have a passion for the work. So I would say, the passion, I would say absolutely. I would say commitment, absolutely. But I believe that in our studio program, in our department and in other departments, we teach you how to interact with other people professionally, and we get you involved working with clients outside of the school. We want you to feel comfortable going into and confident going into the workplace, and be able to, if you think about a film, if you've ever stayed to the end for the end of the credits of a Marvel film, for example, there are thousands of names. So these people are interacting with each other. They're making this, and it takes an army, as they say. So the communication part of it is one of the things that a lot of schools neglect to teach. And I think that the way we teach collaborative learning is really special. And people are able to go into the studio and say, it's not that different. It's like it's not that different from being in school. So that's something we really enjoy teaching, maybe basically being collaborative, working with other people on different sides of the pipeline, and making sure that everything is consistent. If you're working on a sequence together, for example, that you're checking in with people on either side of the pipeline to make sure that the work is done the most efficient way.
And I would just add one more thing. And when you come to the academy, you may have had your parents or your grandparents or your friends say, oh, your work is great. You should be an artist, or you are an artist. And that's what you should do. And we think that's important. However, when you come into the classroom and you start to show your work, you're looking at a pro is looking at your work, right? They don't see it the same way your grandparents did, or your friends, or your parents, or your brother and sister. They're going to say, well, Catherine, that works okay, but let's look at how we can maybe change things around a little bit. And you got to be willing to take that information, not take it personally, because we're giving you the best information we can from a professional's viewpoint. And that's what's going to count in the long run. So you got to, one of our instructors, I think it's the fine art director, says, art isn't for the thin skin. That means you got to be able to take some criticism. You got to have, people, not everyone's going to love your work. So we teach you about that as well.
And, and it's a tricky thing to do that while still trying to help you be creative and have your own unique voice. And that's something that I believe is important as an artist, that you have your own voice. But the critique is just to help you get better and help elevate the work. Yeah. Good point.
Awesome. Yeah, it was amazing. And I do see that you are very passionate in what you do and in what you teach. And as you said, that is so, so important and so beautiful. So thank you very much for that. And I think we have reached the end of this live session. So I would like to thank the students that were here today. Thank you so much for sharing with your time with us, guys. Please don't hesitate to reach out to the Academy of Art University. I'm super sure that they will be more than happy to help you with your process. And I want to thank Trisha for answering lots of questions backstage, and also to Sue and Catherine for sharing with us all this amazing information. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to see everybody. We hope to see you at the Academy.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, depending of where you are in the world. And I'll see you next time.
Thank you, Carla.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.